So here we are going to discuss how to create a cumulative frequency graph using Microsoft Word and using Excel. So first we have the frequency distribution, the grouped data. In terms of interval, you have 10 to 35 has a frequency of 20, 35 to 40 has a frequency of 18, 40 to 50 has a frequency of 7, 50 to 60 a frequency of 5. So we got to construct a cumulative frequency table by using these values. So we first starting with the less than 10. Okay, the time less than 10. Complete the less than row. T less than 10. So we're going to label less than 10. Then less than 35. Then less than 40. Time less than 40. Agreed. Time less than 50. And then time less than 60. Agreed. Now we're going to find the cumulative frequency, the number of athletes. These are athletes, 50 athletes completing a race. How many completed, according to this table, how many completed the race in less than 10 minutes? As you can see, is 0. There were no athletes less than 10. Less than 35 now is the 20 plus the 0. Okay, less than 35 is the 20 plus the 0. Okay, that will give us 20. Less than 40, that will be the 18 plus the 20. Okay, that will give us 38. Less than 50, we have to add the 20, the 18, and the 7. But 20 and 18 is already 38. So 38 plus 7, that will give us 45. And all completed the race in less than 60 minutes. So instead of adding all the 20, 18, 7, and the 5, we have already added 20, 18, and 7 to give us 45. So all we're missing to do is to add the 45 and the 5 to give us 50. Okay, now we're going to create points with these 10 and 0 to get the x coordinate and the y coordinate, because the cumulative frequency graph requires that we plot points. So the x-axis or the x coordinate will be the less than, that will be the 10, and the y coordinate will be the cumulative frequency 0 in that case. So we have 10, 0, less than 10, 0, less than 35, 20. Okay, 35, 20, agreed. 40, 38. Remember, the less than will be the x coordinate and the cumulative frequency, the y coordinate. Less than 40, 38, less than 50, 40, and less than 60, 50. So now we have the coordinates to plot on the graph to obtain the ogive. Okay, we can do this using Microsoft Word. All right, so now using Microsoft Word, now we need a x and a y axis. Okay, we need an x axis and a y axis so that we can get our to plot our points. So the vertical, I draw a vertical line to get the y axis, and draw a horizontal line to get the x axis. You may wonder how to draw the vertical line. So you go in shapes, agreed. You go in Microsoft shapes, right here. You click on the arrow, draw a vertical line like this. Here it is. If you want to make it completely vertical, then what you do basically is to reduce this to 0. And if you want to thicken it and change the color, you can press right click or shift F10, go to format shapes. Okay, and then you can change the color, let's say to black, and change the thickness. All right, so it can be more visible. To create the y-axis, you just make sure it is highlighted, Control-C, Control-V, and then you can make this like this. You want to make it horizontal completely, so you go to the 0.79 and you reduce that to 0, and you have it completely horizontal, and you have your x and your y axis. Okay, now to label with the x and the y axis, we need to create the intervals. All right, so we have our horizontal line to create the intervals. All right, the horizontal line can easily be done by simply going back to shapes, take a line, make it completely horizontal, you make it to 0. Format shapes is already there, you change it to black, and then you thicken it, okay, and then you place it there, or you can start there if you will to get the width of the interval. Control C, Control V to copy and paste. You click on it, all right, and then you move it up. Okay, create the interval approximately. Control C, Control V. Or it is not totally horizontal. You go back to format shapes and you put this to 0. Okay, totally horizontal. Right, you may not use this one, you may use another one, and so forth. Okay, Control V, Control C, get another shape, a grid, and your intervals for the horizontal axis. Again, you do the same thing, but you have little vertical lines, and now you are ready to label the axes. So your first is cumulative frequency and time. Okay, so to get these text boxes, you go to A, okay, see the A, and you highlight it, and you can write CF in it. You can highlight, go to home, put this in bold, increase the font and so forth. You the size of the font. You don't want the line to be visible. So what you basically you go into lines and click no line, and the fill you can click no fill. All right, make sure it is format shapes, and you have no line and no fill. Control C, Control V. The vertical axis, the horizontal axis is time. Vertical axis is cumulative frequency. Horizontal axis is time, and here you have your horizontal and your vertical axis labeled. Okay, now you will want to put the numbers, the values. So due to the fact that our lowest boundary is actually 10, our first point is 10,0. So we can easily start at 10 because there is no value less than 10. There were no athletes that complete the race in less than 10 minutes. So you can put let's start with less than 10, less than 20, less than 30, less than 40, less than 50, less than 60. So if you notice now, we start at 10 and we go up to 20. So the difference between 20 and 20 is 10. So seeing that we're going up by 10, you have to go by 10 all the way. So you cannot say 10 to 20 and then 20 to 25. No, that would be a difference of 10 and 5. That would be, illogical. So if you go by 10, go by 10. If you go by 5, you go by 5. So it don't matter where you start, but once you go up, the next value, the difference have to be the same all the way. You are creating a scale, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Or if you want 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, it depends. Okay, and the same goes for the vertical axis, but for the vertical axis, you must start at 0, okay, because your first cumulative frequency will be 0. There will be nothing less than your lowest boundary. Okay, so there must be 0 in your first cumulative frequency, as you can see, 0, and you decide what you go by. If you're going to buy 10, you go by 10. So if I have 10 there, I must have 20 there. If I had a 5 there, I'd have to go by 5. 0, 5, 10, 50. Okay, but in mere fact, I'm going to buy 10, I have to go by 10 all the way up to 50 because the y-axis is up to 50. Okay, and here we have it. Now we're going to plot the points. Now the first point is 10,0. Okay, first point is 10,0. To get the point, what you do, you go back in shapes, you go to circle, and you create a circle. You want this to be completely circle, so you go here. Both the width and the length, the height have to be the same, so 0.18, and then you can easily drag it in the origin, 10,0 right there. Okay, just a minute, sorry. Okay, just to write, you need the square to drag it. Come on. Stop being naughty. Okay, so you can use the up and down button, okay, to locate it. Okay, you want another one, Control C, Control V will give you another one, and you put it where it's supposed to be. You plot it. So 10,0. The next one is I think is 35,20. Okay, 35,20. Here it is, 35,20. and then we have 40 comma, okay. Next one is, where's the next one? 40 comma 38. 40 comma 38, agreed. And the next one is 50 comma 45. And the next one is 60 comma 50. All right, so here they are plotted. And then what you do now is to join them with a curve. Okay, here's the curve. To obtain such a curve, what you basically do, you go to shapes and you choose this one, the one that mark curve. You click on it and then you can just tap, and you tap a second time, you hold your hand. 2 taps, you hold you press the button for it to get the shape. All right, so you go to curve, and that's what you use to create the curve that you see by joining the points with a smooth curve. So this is the ogive using Microsoft Word. Okay, now this can be easily done using Excel. Okay, so what you basically do, you go to Excel, to an Excel spreadsheet, you open your cumulative frequency table. All right, here it is, the cumulative frequency table. Okay, we want a graph just like this one. Right, this is the cumulative frequency table right here. Right, here they are. You have all the values, the points. So what you need to transfer now to the Excel spreadsheet now are these points. Well, first you label. Your X coordinate will be time. Your Y coordinate will be cumulative frequency. Okay, if you want, you can put this in bold. Okay. Now, the first one is 10. Your first time is 10. Your first cumulative frequency is 0. Then you have 35, and then you have 20. Then you have 40, and then you have 38. Then you have 50, and then you have 45. Then you have 60, and then you have 50. All right. So what you do now, after you have completed transferring the, cumulative frequency table to the Excel spreadsheet, okay, what you do, you ensure that these numbers are in general format. You can go there to check it out. General, you have different, formats you can have. You can have numbers, you can have currency, you have long date and so forth, but you want it general, so keep it general. Then you highlight the entire table. You go to insert, and then you go to scatter. Don't go to line, is a line you want to know, but you go to scatter. Insert, scatter, bear that in mind. You see, where insert scatter says, you have your X, comma Y, okay, plotting points, X, comma Y. So as soon as you go on the first diagram, use this chart type, you see the points already start plotting. You can see them already taking shape, but you want the curve. So you go to this one to the right, and here you have the curve, the cumulative frequency curve using Excel, insert, scatter, and the one with the line. And you can clearly see it resembles identical to the one we did using Microsoft Word. Okay.